friends. Welcome to episode 172 of The Rewind, a podcast dedicated to keeping its listeners on the cutting edge of the upcoming MMORPG, Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. As always, Draq and I want to take the first moment to thank you for spending your time with us, either in the chat at the premiere, Saturdays at noon Eastern, or on your own time catching up on our video on demands. We really appreciate your patience with us on our longer episodes, where we bring our favorite people in from the Pantheon community and get to know them better. Each episode has brought some amazing stories, and we look forward to our last interview next week with our special Guild episode. This is where I usually mention the Patreon and tell you all of its great perks and why you should join. And if you have the means to support us, please look in the link below and pick a plan that works for you. Draq and I are 4 new members away from our goal for this year and would love your support. I promise the show isn't going anywhere. Supporting us helps produce the show for the next few years while the game continues to develop. As always, make sure to click the like and subscribe buttons to help with the algorithm. Well, Draq, it's our Thanksgiving episode, and I want you to know that I am thankful to be doing this show with such a great friend. I'm glad we got the chance to take over and put our crazy spin on it. Hopefully our 2025 will be just as amazing. Now, on with the show.
Under the scorching sun of the blistering dunes, the adventurers approached a massive chasm surrounded by a jagged sandstone. The ground trembled as a giant scorpion emerged, its carapace shimmering like molten gold, its venomous stinger dipped with a green bubbling toxin. "Form up!" bellowed Archbishop, gripping his warhammer. The dwarf paladin raised his shield and the scorpion lunged, deflecting its monstrous claws. Screech strummed a frantic tune on his lute, infusing the group with vigor. "Try not to get stung unless you enjoy poison," he hissed. Ziplocks darted around the beast's flank, twin daggers flashing in the sunlight. With a deft leap, he sank one blade into the scorpion's vulnerable joint, eliciting a ear-piercing screech. Annoying Llama somersaulted over the creature's tail, delivering a flurry of precise strikes to its softer underbelly. "Focus the legs!" he shouted. Churro summoned an elemental fire sprite, which launched fiery blasts at the beast. Its exoskeleton began to crack under the relentless assault. Meanwhile, Anton Dubiditis chanted an ancient mirror glyph, conjuring a tidal surge of spectral water that doused the scorpion's venomous stinger, rendering it inert. With a final hammer blow from Archbishop, the giant scorpion collapsed. The group stood victorious, the desert winds carrying their triumph to the distant sands.
This week in Visionary Realms News and Notes.
All right, Dymlos. Well, this week's VR news and notes isn't very VR-ish.
Or news or notey.
Or news or notey. We're kind of, I don't know, we don't really have a section for this.
The random shit section. This is my favorite.
There wasn't really anything official released by VR this week. No newsletter, no, big announcement. So,
and since we don't have an interview, we have to kill some time. So here we are.
First of all, we'd like to announce that next week we are doing the Rewind Guild episode. Now, what does that mean? That means
I have no idea.
That we are going to talk about guilds in Pantheon, and we are going to feature a bunch of guilds that are in Pantheon. So if you have a Pantheon guild and you would like to promote your Pantheon guild on the Rewind, you can make me a 60-second, less than 60-second video clip, and or audio clip is also fine, and you can just send it to me and we will play it on next week's Rewind. I cannot wait to see what some of the community comes up with in terms of guild promotions, because Leroy Jenkins came from a guild recruitment video, and so why can't we have that for Pantheon? We're also going to have Gulu Gulu on, and he's going to talk about our very own guild, and that is going to be Greybox.
Wait, Draq, we have a guild?
We do have a guild. We're forming up. Yeah. And we called it Greybox. We all voted. We thought that Greybox properly represented all of us old fogies who have been around long enough to know what Greybox is. If you know, you know.
But you don't have to be that old to join the guild.
Just quality people that love Pantheon and want to uphold the Pantheon community. Hashtag community matters.
Community matters.
We also had, I fished out a Discord post. Shout out to Vendini because he's the one that found it for me. Asking a question about some in-house testing. Zand, XAND, the reluctant rogue, asks, why Pantheon seems to never have any combat testing?
That's such a great question, Zand. Such a great question.
VR doesn't really ask us to test combat. They don't give us any goals into testing combat, and it's just kind of go play, and we'll kind of collect data and see what we get.
Zand, have you ever watched our weekly stream at all?
I think he has. He's probably an avid watcher.
We talk about this all the time. All the time. For a solid year now.
When they make patch changes, it kind of seems like to us, the players / testers, that it's random. And often they overcorrect or drastically change things, and it ends poorly.
What was that Paula Abdul song? 2 step forward, 3 steps back.
Yeah,
Opposites attract.
Opposites attract. There you go. But so I'm guessing that you, Dymlos, think Zand has a really good point.
I understand that we're testers, but you try to make any sort of correction, and it just is wrong almost every time. And it usually ends up breaking something else, like something that we've already fixed. So we always find these pretty quickly. And then the reaction time to get them fixed, even though they've already been fixed before, so we already know how to fix them, takes so much longer. We have to wait till the next patch. And that could be weeks, months. Now, it's been faster recently, but it's been real bad. And it happens every patch. 2 step forward, 3 step back. It's like that every time. So it's just to be expected at this point, Zand. You know, I'm sorry that it's frustrating. It absolutely is. I'm sorry. I can't apologize to you enough, Zand, but it just is the way it's been. Even us VIPs have been dealing with this the entire time, literally the entire time. When we were under NDA, we couldn't talk about it, but it's always been this way. It's always been, we make some great strides on some things. We put in some great graphics. We get good lighting, whatever the case may be is. But then whatever they've fixed before just is no longer fixed. And now we have to go back or wait for another patch to get it to get fixed again. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, I think part of this goes back to they need more people. They need to be able to pay more people. So
hopefully this works out.
That's how it works. There's just not enough money in the pot to have enough manpower to keep track of all this stuff yet. And so I think it's not a matter of they don't want to test the combat. I just think it's a matter of that's not even their priority right now. If you look, they're not even trying to fix the combat all that much. They're just trying to keep it manageable. They're just trying to get content in the game. That's the main thing. And I think that's honestly what they should be doing. We need content more than we need combat balance. And however that pans out, it doesn't really matter to me, because if we're playing the same thing over and over, it doesn't matter if it's balanced or not. We just don't have enough stuff. And so what little programming and Kyle's time and all that to work on stuff, it has to be so we can get more people in the game. And maybe Steam's going to explode, and maybe they're going to get a bunch of money there, and then they'll be able to hire some people. Then we can focus on combat some more. But as sad as it is to say, I just don't think we're at combat yet. We have to get content in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's going to bring the dollars in, is the content. So backstab being broken, definitely not the first time that's happened.
Definitely not.
So many.
It's revolving in and out.
Let's talk about the XP gains.
Oh my goodness. It took us like 15 minutes to understand that the Manor XP was a way over nerfed. Like 15 minutes. We were like, what the heck is going on? Is this completely broken?
I mean, we were killing dark oranges and got nothing.
Nothing.
Like, I get that the time to kill took forever, and that's on us for going in there a little early, maybe a level or 2 early. I mean, we were getting more killing light blues in the Goblin Cave.
Yeah.
Hey, Hey Joppa, you get me so excited about classes and abilities. When you say you summon Alchemelo friends for me. Hey Joppa, I hoped your words were pure gold. My broken heart is my fault, so now I carry around an extra shaker of salt. Hey Joppa.
This week we had 7.5 hours of Joppa streaming, 2 streams. He's back on the rise, sickness in the rearview mirror, and we are hard charging towards EA.
Oof. Where are we at? We're less than a month away now. Here
Less
we go.
than 1 month away.
2 weeks till shutdown. 4
Yeesh.
weeks till EA.
For those, and we had some people on last week's Rewind that asked about what's going to happen, how things are going to roll out. So what's going to happen is December 1st, they're going to shut down the servers. Nobody's going to be able to play Pantheon. Then December 13th is going to happen, that Friday. They haven't set a time yet, but I'm guessing it's going to be morning. And they're going to open up the servers and everybody's going to be able to log in. Currently there is no plans for being a priority for VIPs, or there's going to be no like order of when people log on. There's no early access to early access, right? So everybody's going to log on at the same time. It's going to be one thing. They're just going to say go and we're all going to log on.
Everyone's the same level of noob.
Anybody that's bought any of the pledges or bought the Steam package, everybody's going to be able to log in. That's how that's kind of going to go.
Should be fun.
Last week, Joppa talked about patching and how he's not actually in charge of patching or the dates for patching. And sometimes, apparently, there was some internal discussions about how he couldn't promise not to patch and and when patch day was going to be. So
people just write him for that shit too. Like, calm down, people. Let the man do his job, and he'll put a patch out when he can.
I feel like they're my kids. Like
Dad,
they're like
Dad, Daddy, Dad, Dad. When's the patch? Do you see how annoying that is, people? Stop.
You said it was going to be Thursday. You said it.
How dare you?
How dare you lied to me?
I paid my $40 to play this game as much as I wanted to, and there should be new patches every day. I should get something brand new every day because I paid money.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's annoying. The patches happen when the patches happen.
I know that there's a lot of people in our community that watch the Joppa stream, but the people that just watch Joppa only and do nothing else are borderline toxic.
Whoa. Listen, I think you're grouping people and into like,
well, then I'll cut it out.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
The addition of the reading of people's text when they redeem points is just that. Pulling at that shirt over and over and over again. Let the man just answer questions and do his job and show you what he wants to show you. That's more than what we've ever gotten.
Ever.
Just be grateful in this time of Thanksgiving. Be thankful that you get anything.
Remember when we used to have like a 45-minute dev stream and that was the only time we got to ask questions?
For 3 months.
Yeah, it'd be like
and then nothing.
And then nothing. And then you got a dev stream and you were like, we get some questions.
Did you see the docs of Avelia? Oh, that has to keep me going for another 2 years.
Kids don't know how it was. Kids don't know.
When we went to Pantheon, we climbed uphill both ways in the snow.
Yeah, we did.
So.
All that to say, now VR is considering a patch day in which there would be regularly scheduled patching, which I think would be kind of fun.
Good. Yeah, this is good.
I think that would be progress. This will help some of the patching where we go backwards sometimes, because maybe if they have a patch day and there's like set times to get stuff in, then they'll know better what's actually happening with their patches. Joppa mentioned that summoners will be able to summon your group members, that is, to their location. He did say there would be some restrictions. He did not go into what those restrictions would be.
Probably zoning, if I had to take a guess.
Yeah, I'm guessing it probably won't work across zones and may not work in dungeons. Those would be my two guesses.
Why? I mean, the whole point is dungeons. Why would
I don't
Wha-
know.
Yeah.
The way that he's talking, though, it just kind of makes me seem like that. Because Joppa was really adamant that he didn't want to put any bind spots inside dungeons. He doesn't want people to skip content.
But do you have to bind to summon people? That's a little weird.
No, I'm just saying he doesn't want people to skip content. And binding would be one way to do that.
But we're talking about summoning. What does that have to do with binding?
I'm just saying in the same way that you would gate to a bind spot halfway through a dungeon would be the same way if you were summoned halfway through a dungeon.
Okay.
Never mind. Maybe it only makes sense to me.
Don't worry, I'm cutting all that
Cut
out.
all that out. Joppa says that Steam reviews and review bombing don't scare him. He says that review bombing is part of our gaming culture. And
I
he feels
hate that. I hate that so much. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but damn, that sucks. What a crappy part of gaming culture.
We're just giving up. We're just like, it's just part. This is who we are.
People are gonna shit all over us. Thank you, internet. Ugh.
All right.
I'm glad that people don't shit all over the rewind comments all the time. We get some, but like
You didn't look at it last week because it was a little rough.
Was it?
Oh yeah.
I looked at it pretty recently. I didn't see anything too rough.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That wasn't the rewind. That was the After Dark.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
never look at those ones. Was it real bad?
Yeah, people were talking about how that we needed to just focus on playing the game and stop talking about stuff.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't want to hear us jabbering about stuff. They just wanted to watch us play Pantheon. Enough of those.
Wow.
Enough of those interesting conversations. You guys are boring as heck. Just shut up and play.
I mean, that's what we do in our off time. Like, we save all our conversation for the stream because we're boring people.
What? Yeah,
So-
it's super boring.
Like, we just literally hop on and we're in voice, but we don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
It's just, and we can grind it out as good as the next group, but people come for the fellowship, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not just
That's the whole. I just think that maybe he wasn't able to phrase correctly that
Hopefully.
he just didn't like our personalities.
You're
That's
right,
fine.
though. When we, I mean, if you don't like our personalities, then get the fuck out. But we know how to play the game. Like we do get distracted. Our gameplay is much less when we are on stream.
Oh yeah, we get about half done when we're streaming versus when we're
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, when we're full on, it's pretty good. Like
It's freaking go time.
yeah. Even Draq is pretty good.
I can lock it in when I need to.
Yeah. Yep. That's why you're still in the group.
All right. We got to stay on point here. Speaking of locking in, Joppa feels that VR has stayed true to what VR is promising, and he is excited that other people are going to be able to try it and play it. And
Yeah.
there will be no more questions about what is Pantheon Pantheon vaporware, and is it going to be fun because people can try it.
I love it. Again, it's too bad that people have to poo-poo all over things all the time, but yeah, no, I can't wait for people to try it. It's a fun game. The gameplay is fun. Bring a friend. It's certainly better when you bring a friend. Don't just try to solo this game because you're going to hit a brick wall pretty quickly in the game, especially if you play like a rogue or something and you try to go kill something level 1. You're going to die. You're going to die a lot.
Don't kill the deer early.
Yeah, exactly. So bring a friend.
Or maybe join a guild. You could find a guild next
Yeah,
week.
always good.
I know I know you're gonna be super excited about this. This is your jam right here. Joppa is working on adding improved innate eyesight for certain races. Quote unquote. Yeah, there's 2 tiers of sight. There's the first tier, the lower tier, which is nighttime vision.
Good.
So where you get, this would be like your basic nighttime dark elf vision.
Mhm,
Or
mhm.
there's the second vision, and he didn't name what either one of these words. I don't know if it's ultra vision or whatever they're going to call it. But the second one is nighttime vision plus vision in caves itself.
Like
How cool is that?
yeah, it sounds very dwarfy to me. Hopefully the Darkmoor get that, but I won't hold my breath.
I mean, I'm an archive. I don't think I'm getting any of it. I'm
You are
probably
getting
just
nothing.
I'm just going to be blind all the time.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Oh, this next part makes me super sad, Dymlos. It just breaks my heart a little because torches and light sources are now not going to be in any slot on your character.
Thank God. Why does this break your heart? Because you want to carry a torch?
Torch Wizard is my banner. Like, I was gonna have a little graphic made. I was gonna be Draq the Torch Wizard, but apparently that dream is dead.
I'm glad.
Now, just your light source, it sits in your inventory. It can't be in your bag, but so it has to sit in a slot on your main inventory. And then whatever the greatest light source is in your inventory will light up around you. And
that's great.
Also, most light sources will be consumable. So as time progresses, you will have to go buy more light sources.
Yeah, I'm all about that. As a tank who has to carry around weapons and a shield, not having a light source in my hand, and then, what if I get caught in combat? I don't have my shield. I just have a sword and a torch, like Aragorn versus the Nazgul.
You just have to travel with Torch Wizard.
Well, I mean, you don't stick around. People go their own way. We all just run back. We don't wait for each other. No one waits for each other. You just go. So I need my own light source. And if that means that, you strap one of those headlamps to my forehead, then so be it.
That'll be awesome. Joppa said that he is going to definitely continue to stream after EA and also after launch, just in case you're wondering. For early access launch, he is hoping to be a eye in the sky and roam around watching other people play on stream.
Oh, now he's playing the helicopter dad. First he was being, getting annoyed from his children asking him who's dad. Now he's literally going to be helicopter dad.
Yeah.
Right? No, it's fine. I'm glad that he's still going to continue. We're going to continue, as I said in the intro. This show's going to keep going. The game's not done yet, so we're going to keep going. And, maybe we'll continue to go even when the game's done. Could you imagine us doing this in 3 years when this game is done?
I mean, I think we should keep doing it after the game is done. Won't there be news and things to report on?
3 years. No one's made it 3 years. Did Minus make it 3 years?
I've been in this for a long friggin' time. I've been making content for a long time.
That's a long time to think about, 3 years. Where are you in 2028 when the game comes out?
Yikes.
Yeah. I'll probably be dead.
Wow, that got dark quick. Lots of people are concerned about joining their friends on EA launch day, and they want to make a dwarf, and they don't want to start and throw fast. So
that's us.
There was a question about whether there would be portals to the different starting areas.
Yeah, right. Have you ever played EverQuest or WoW or any MMORPG ever?
No.
There's none of that shit. You want to start together? Start dwarves together.
Exactly.
There you go.
That's it. Basically, Joppa chuckled a little bit and said, quote, "There might be some good old-fashioned hoofing it going on."
Yeah, good luck. We don't even know where the bindstones are to try to get halfway through Silent Plains. We know nothing. All the people that have been testing have no idea other than throwing fast. So these other 3 zones that we have to traverse, that's going to be rough.
If we don't get these zones in the next 2 weeks,
bro,
then we won't see them before the launch of EA.
We're not seeing these zones.
I mean, they have to get them in the next 2 weeks, don't they?
No.
They have to. We got to at least lay hands on them a little bit, don't we?
Nope.
Oh, jeez. That's going to be so rough if that doesn't happen.
That's going to be miserable, but here we go.
Here we go.
I mean, it's just like when we first logged into EverQuest for the first time. Sitting on the doorstep of Kinos, not knowing how to pronounce it.
Didn't even know if we could get... I didn't even know that there was other continents when I was in Quanos.
Exactly.
It's fine. Joppa's considering adding a bindstone near Halnir's Cave. He thinks that it could possibly get more people to group an adventure in Halnir's Cave because the corpse run is, he thinks, the big deterrent for people grouping in Halnir's.
I mean, it's not that long. It's what, 2 minute, a 2 minute run? It's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
I mean, when you're low level and the bears want to kill you, Yeah, that's a little rough, but just do some good old-fashioned hoofing it.
It's clear that he wants more people in Halnir's cave testing it, and he wants them to want to be in there. So he's willing to tweak whatever it takes to get people into Halnir's.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful zone. We should all be in there, and it should be a vibrant part of the zone. But yeah, it's a little tough, especially when you roll back the XP down to nothing.
Yeah. You know what else would get people in that zone? Boss mobs.
Loot?
But loot and boss mobs. That's what would get people
non-ranger loot? That'd be great.
Non-ranger loot. Thanks, Mr. C. We love you.
I know that we went overboard on the loot with having 2 or 3 or sometimes even 4 different pieces that
I liked it.
I liked it too. Why did we drop down to 1? Whose advice to Joppa was that you had to go down to 1 piece of loot? I dislike that a whole lot.
I liked having a common and a rare. That was fun.
I liked having an uncommon in between that too.
Yeah, I'm all for 3 pieces of loot to every named mob. I think that's a great system.
Once you beat the named once, it's over. Unless, you got 2 rangers in your group. Oh, it's over.
Just help you, pray for you if you have 2 rangers. Like, what kind of torture is that group?
Well, people like bows.
Joppa talked a little bit about leveling time. This is one of my personal favorite topics of a discussion. I love it.
Happens all the time.
I know.
It's every week.
I love just digging into the nuts and bolts of how long does it take to get to max level. So Joppa talked about how if you played 10 to 12 hours a day for 3 to 3.5 weeks, you should be in your low 20s.
Wow.
And then after that, it's only going to take longer and it's going to be harder going forward.
10 to 12 hours a day?
I don't know if that was 7 days a week. I'm thinking he's figuring like maybe 5 days a week or so.
So 50 hours for 3 to 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
You're going to be halfway through the game.
He said people that played 2 to 3 hours a day would take 2 to 3 months to get that far.
That's going to be some slow content.
It's be some slow leveling. Do you think people today are up for that kind of grind? Do you think that like people think that's fun? I like it.
It just all comes down to, are you in this for the solo mission, right? Like, as you can tell, if you're trying to go into this solo, it's over. Pick another game.
Take that number and times it times 3. 4 to 6 months to get to level
low 20s if you're trying to solo. It could be longer. It's miserable. Get a buddy. Find a guild. Do something. But yeah, I mean, even people with static groups, I think it'll probably be faster if you've got a static group, because Joppa's probably putting in like finding group time, the normal stuff, wiping a bunch of times, because that's definitely going to happen, especially if you're not in with the same 6 people and get to know each other's gameplay all the time.
Right.
It gets a little rough. To your question, do I think that people are up for that? Yeah, I do think that people are up for that, and that's kind of what this game is for. It's not like an action fast sort of thing. It's a slow grind, it's a slow burn, and that's what people want. I know we said that the XP was brought back a lot, and it was. But I do feel like that's probably a little closer to what it is than where we were at before, where you're just blasting through levels. They're struggling to make content right now.
Yeah.
If they don't put it to, it's going to take you 2 to 3 months to get to halfway through their content.
You're going to blow through in a week and a half.
There's your $40 and you'll review bomb the game. Oh, this was too fast and too easy, and I did manner till 40 and I was done.
They gotta get those level 40 spells and skills that they gotta have a couple of months to make that happen.
Is this thing on? Y'all posting it, so I'm hosting it. It's your boy Benonai, here with another packed community spotlight. How many times have we told Visionary Realms how important communication is? It's more than 2. But as the community of a game in production, a game ran on community funding, a game with limited time and resources at their disposal. How important is our role in communication? Do we neglect our roles as testers, hype men, strong dissenters to features and mechanics we don't like? Are we doing our part to help this game be everything the gamer wants it to be? Well, I don't know about you, but these folks are. Because of the popularity of social media, our conversations are spread over a wide range of platforms, each of which are integral to the success of our game. So it is important that we have a presence there that is helpful to the devs and to the health of the community and to the newcomers. So let's start at the OG. The Pantheon official forums have been a staple of the community since the beginning of the project. Early on, it was the place to find everything going on with the development, the lore, the discussions on the mechanics. And I remember back in 2016 noticing the same voices popping up on every thread, giving their opinions, sometimes heated, but always with a passion to make the game better. And that's why it is staggering to me to see so many that are still engaging the community after so long. Jothany has been a staple poster since I joined the forums. As a matter of fact, he has posted over 2,300 times on the boards and is now a community moderator. Jothany joined on April 1st of 2014. To put that in perspective, Ben McHale Dean, the one who most likely initiated the forums, has a join date of February 18, 2014. And Jothany is still answering questions for the newcomers to the boards, giving his take on topics, and helping any way he can. And likewise, Chinzim joined in 2016, and Negative Energy joined in 2017, and are still very active on the boards, engaging with the noobs. There are many that have come and gone in the forums, many for years and years, but these three have stood the test of time and are still actively contributing on the forums. And for that, we thank you for your service to our community, y'all. And please keep up the good work. One more note. The forums are ablaze right now with brand new members posting questions and having discussions on the game, all of which have less than 10 posts. This is a healthy and thriving community being resurrected, so stop by sometime and leave a reply. Let them know we care about our forums. The bulk of the chatter began migrating to the official Pantheon Discord around 2018 or so. And as that community got hot, we saw a lot of the forum posters move over and begin focusing their efforts there. And many have been consistent voices of debate, assistance, knowledge, and just good conversation. You know, being a friend. Many of these were recognized officially by Visionary Realms when they created their latest version of community moderators called the Sacred Servants. They were handpicked by VR due to their loyalty to the boards, not VR, to assist with dispelling rumors, answering questions, disseminating news, and moderating the channel. They seem to live on Discord and have been staples of our community for a long time. So, with that being said, I'd like to thank Dosey, Fate, Dougbug, and Jiraki for being long time community members who make our community awesome. And not to leave out those that were too spicy or too amazing to be part of the Sacred Servants. This short list is some of the longest tenured surfers in Discord that have made our days so fun and exciting. And there's so many more, but there's just not enough time. So thank you to 187, Spoff, Vandrad, Finn, Zinton, Goku, Proxy, and Oak Knower for making our Discord a place people like to hang out. X is a tough one. There's not a ton of posts of just conversation on there because why? But for those who look up Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, they will see a wall of endless content creators that make our game seem like the talk of the town. So thanks to all you hashtaggers out there that keep our presence alive and felt on X. Arthax, Redbeard Flynn, Chris Frozen, Lotu, and many more. Much love, you guys. And to finish, I want to mention our newest town square, Steam. The history has not been written on the Steam community boards. It is being written right now, as a matter of fact. What I do know is that there are more eyes visible on the Steam boards than anywhere else our community has ever hung out. There's no joining, there's no pledging. You go to Steam community, type Pantheon, and you can be in on the conversation. That access makes it the largest town square we now have. Who among you will step up and begin assisting in this new forum? Who is going to be the one that makes newcomers feel welcome? Who will answer the questions already pouring in? Who will start the discussion with the new EA players about the graphics and gameplay and so on? We need dedicated players to fill the gap and help promote our game. Look, to all of you who make our community so great, thank you. From me and Draq, to a far lesser extent Dymlos, and all the SGL fam and the community at large. We would not be here without you. Make sure to tell one of these peeps thanks the next time you see him posting somewhere. And no, I didn't accidentally leave Reddit out. Viva Racha, baby. I'm out.
From the SGL Action News Desk, this is MMO News, featuring your anchors, Draq and Dymlos.
All right, here we are. It is gaming news. And this is where we take a step to not talk about Pantheon. And so half of our listening population that is listening live will cut out now at this point. Definitely did last week. I know you weren't there, Draq, but we were at like rocking around 25-ish people. And then the top 5 hit and we were down to 11.
Only the diehards make it to the top 5.
Yeah, well, maybe they know that it's going to be a while and they need to, let all that Pantheon news and notes sit in before they get to the best part of the show. But anyway, gaming news, 2 big things that I really want to mention. One, if you haven't watched our streams or know me at all, I mention Pokemon literally every episode because it's like my favorite thing of all time. I love Pokemon. And I got Draq into Pokemon Pocket, which is like a scaled down version of their trading card game. So if you remember opening up packs back in 1999 and you haven't touched the card game since, this is basically back to 1999. It has a few little tweaks to it, but Pokemon Pocket, it's the trading card game that instead of half-hour trading card games, it's like little 5-minute battles. They do not last long. The news has reported in week 3 they have now made $120 million.
Jeez.
Unbelievable. 12 million in their first 4 days, and it has avalanched into 3 weeks at $120 million. And you know who's really been paying most of that money? Random Rob. Random Rob has put in...
What percentage of that is Random Rob?
At least 2 to 3% of that 120 million is Random Rob. Big Pika.
You got him hooked on it.
I should have not even mentioned it to him, but I need someone to be able to just feed me cards that I haven't been able to pick up, like these Charizards that I can't pick up. But I'm thankful that Pokemon has had another banger. Like the trading card game obviously makes them a ton of money. Those cards are better than printing dollars.
First of all, I would like to apologize to the entire Rewind audience for Dymlos' obsession with Pokemon and just wanting to sneak it in this Pantheon podcast whenever he has. I promise to never let Dymlos make this a Pokemon podcast. I will stand firm, even though sometimes he sneaks this Pokemon stuff in.
Gotta catch 'em all.
Second of all, this is where we are in society. This just blows my mind, and I'm part of the problem. I'm saying this as I am part of the problem because I'm a person that has bought packs. We are buying a digital card that they can take away from us at any point, at any time, and we will never have. We're not even buying things that are real anymore. We're just buying digital stuff that is just imaginary, and we're paying people actual money that we worked hard for to get. That's how crazy this world is, and they are making millions of dollars for it.
It's fun. It's fun, okay? All right, moving on. So, also our good friends at Microsoft, no longer Blizzard.
Oh, very sad. It just makes me sad to think about.
Does it? Because Microsoft has done more in the last however long they've owned them, couple months.
No. Don't get me wrong. Microsoft acquiring Blizzard where it was is absolutely a godsend. And if you remember correctly, those of you that have been around for a long time, remember that Theric and I had made a pact that we weren't going to stream or play Blizzard games because of all the shenanigans that was happening at Blizzard. But Microsoft has taken over. They've cleaned it up, and they have made it a better place. And so Microsoft taking over is amazing. But it just makes me sad that Blizzard couldn't do that themselves and that they had to have Microsoft come in and clean them up. Like, it's just sad to me.
Are you saying that greed is
Oh yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. That
Greed
unchecked
cannot keep a
greed and
company
power
together?
is bad.
Yeah.
Unchecked greed and power.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's good stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank goodness that Microsoft is run by
Yeah, because they're so virtuous. Microsoft, they're just a beacon of
certainly
light.
they are more virtuous than many multi-billion-dollar companies that are out there. I mean, this is perfect. Like, Microsoft has made it a point to like listen to what the people want and give them what they want. And here we are. So Blizzard had their own direct. They have released a ton of great information, big things happening. We're getting World of Warcraft's doing new servers. So they're taking this TLP, TLE to their own level. So now
They
they're
ripped this straight off of
Straight from-
EverQuest.
absolutely.
Absolutely just ripped it from them. And
I mean, isn't that what they did in WoW in the first place? They just
No,
ripped
it's
a
true.
ton of stuff from EQ.
And then in the beginning they didn't want to do it, and they were like, "You guys have phones, don't you?" And then they were like,
Yeah.
and then they were like, "Oh, wait a minute, we can charge them anything we want." And now they're just like, "Okay, we're gonna have 6 more TLPs, and it's gonna be amazing."
Yep. This is the way of the old game. They're doing upgrades to their games that Blizzard just shit the bed on. Specifically, something near and dear to Draq and I's heart, Warcraft 3.
Dude, let me tell you what I'm really excited about. Not
Yeah.
only are they fixing Warcraft 3, which shame on you, Blizzard, because you did a crappy job with that remake. Not only are they fixing it, and apparently, according to Dymlos, and people Dymlos knows who are directly tied to Blizzard, or may not be directly tied to Blizzard,
Streamers that I watch. Okay.
streamers that he watches, they're doing a great job with it, and it's really good.
The battle chest is going to be awesome. I'm very excited. I actually already purchased Warcraft 3 Reforged.
You did, really?
Yeah. And so
Oh, look at that. It's out now.
Yeah, go get it.
$40.
Yep. And so
All 3. Wow,
and
that's crazy.
they have done some really great stuff with it. Like, you can play, if you're playing Warcraft 3 and you're like, you know what? I'd really like to listen to the Warcraft 2 music while I'm playing Warcraft 3. You just go into the settings, flip a pull down menu, and you're now listening to You don't have to restart the game.
Holy crap.
It just does it.
Dude, it
All
looks
the new
great.
skins.
This is what I'm excited about.
They
It
have
looks
really
great.
done
I
a
want to
good
go
job.
back and play Warcraft 1 again. I played the original Warcraft. I played Warcraft 2 and I played Warcraft 3, and I loved every single one of them. And I want to go back and I want to just do the whole story again, all the way from Warcraft 1 all the way through Warcraft 3. I think that's going to be super fun.
This whole direct was just banger after banger after banger, especially if you are like into WoW like we are not. WoW's a good game. We're just, it's not necessarily our cup of tea to be our forever home, right?
We can only have one addiction. And
yeah. There's just too many Barons chat people in that game for me to enjoy it. But the premise is great, and the lore behind Warcraft is wonderful, and Warcraft 3 is super, super great. You know, we need to go and play some Sheep Tag and some Direct Strike and all those tower defenses.
Gem defense, baby.
Oh,
Gem defense.
It's time, Drac. It's time to call up your brother who we
Time to
haven't
bring
talked
him
to
back.
in 20 years and tell him, hey, Warcraft 3 is back, baby. Yeah, this was such an exciting time for Blizzard, and I'm happy for them, and I'm really happy for Microsoft to do what Blizzard couldn't.
5,
Drac, I'm so disappointed in you.
Luckily, every week I dominate this list and just destroy Dymlos.
I thought you would just tuck your head between,
No
your butt
way!
cheeks.
No, my list is
And
amazing.
It's not at all. Oh, already your list is the worst. Your list is the worst.
Top 5 Thanksgiving side dish.
Whoop, 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 woo. I have been waiting all month for this. This is my absolute favorite holiday. And I lovingly call it Beige Food Holiday. And why, may you ask? Well, if you have to ask why, you've never had Thanksgiving before. Let me hear number 5, Draq.
All right, number 5. We're going to start out with a little fight here. We're going to start out throwing haymakers. Here we go. Number 5, gravy. Now, hear me out.
No,
hear me out.
I refuse to.
No, hear me out.
No.
Now, just here. Let me lay the case.
You can
down.
talk to the people, but I'm not going to be listening to your explanation of why your list is already bunk. Please go ahead.
If we're saying it's a Thanksgiving side dish, then gravy is in its own dish. So therefore, it is a side dish. And gravy, to me, if it's not good enough to eat on its own, then you shouldn't really be having it at Thanksgiving. So gravy, number 5.
Already you have ruined the sacredness of the top 5 yet again. People in the comments right now, there are people in the chat live on Saturday that are just shitting on you. This is unbelievable. It literally said a side dish. It's not in a dish, Draq. It's in a gravy bowl. It's a bowl.
A boat dish.
No.
Yep.
No. It's always mashed potatoes and gravy.
No, it's just gravy, because you don't just put gravy on mashed potatoes. You put it on the cornbread, you put it on the stuffing, you put it on the mashed potatoes, you put it on everything.
I understand that, but it itself is not a side dish.
You can.
It's just gravy.
No, it's a dish. Side dish. Number 5,
so
gravy.
Unbelievable.
How about your number 5?
Well, my number 5 has gravy with it because it's mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes are wonderful. I love mashed potatoes. So much butter, so many carbs. Throw that gravy fat on top of it. I love Thanksgiving so much. I can't wait to talk about my 5 top favorite things because they're all good. Mashed potatoes, number 5. You can't go wrong with that one. It's so delicious.
I 100% agree with you. The only thing I don't agree with you with is mashed potatoes is way too low on your list. Obviously, you have not tasted the correct mashed potatoes. Otherwise, it would definitely be higher.
It's low because there's just so many better things, but of Thanksgiving. So it had to be on the top 5.
Agree. If you don't have mashed potatoes in your top 5, then get out.
Get out. Don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You're not a pilgrim. You can go back to Europe, and I'm going to throw your dirty, stinky tea in the ocean. Well, Draq, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is amazing and may not be on everybody's list, but I think it definitely deserves to be on a top 5. And that is the Hawaiian roll. You toast it up really good.
Okay.
You cover it with butter, and then it just sops up everything. It's like, so when you're done, you just take that Hawaiian roll and you just kind of rub it around your plate, and you just soak up all the juices and all the stuff, and then you eat it. It's amazing, an amazing finisher for your Thanksgiving dinner.
I do love me some Hawaiian rolls. I'm not going to lie. But no, it unfortunately does not belong on a top 5. It's just some bread. It's not really even a side dish. I mean, technically, I guess it is. It's just the bread.
What exactly constitutes a side dish?
I don't know. It's just bread. It's bread. It's not really a dish.
You want beige food for Thanksgiving, and you're not allowing any bread?
Bread is beige. It totally fits in, but like it's not a dish. It's just bread. It's like, I mean, I'm going to allow it.
You are. Thank you for allowing.
You're very welcome.
It
As
my podcast.
The king of Thanksgiving. Oh, your podcast. Okay, I see where it's at now. Now I'm fine with it being your top 5 list and you putting Hawaiian rolls on your top 5. But there are so many other dishes that are better than this. And you put it at number 4. You put it above, well, gravy, which isn't a side. So number 2, already, it's just terrible.
Listen, you're going to get to the end of your Thanksgiving meal and you're going to be, man, I wish I had something to like finish this plate off. I don't want to throw it away because I feel like I'll be wasting.
No, just lick it. I just licked the plate. That doesn't bother me.
I forgot that you're not married. There's
Yeah,
certain thing that
exactly.
married people do that or unmarried people do that married people cannot do. So I guess maybe if you're not married, then you can just lick the plate. But
Yeah.
for
Or
us
give it to my
civilized
cat,
people,
Be
for us
nice.
domesticated men, we have to have a Hawaiian roll.
Okay, good.
How about your number 4?
Oh, my number 4 is one of the best parts of the beige plate. Oh, the stuffing. And I love all sorts of stuffing. It can be cheap, shitty stovetop stuffing. That's delicious. It can be meat-driven stuffing. There was one time a Thanksgiving we had. I bought a turducken, and everyone knows what a turducken is. At this point.
We did the turducken one year too.
It's a bit much.
Yes,
The
I would
duck
agree.
is a little oily, although delicious. It's not a Thanksgiving staple all the time, but it is fun.
I would say it's way cooler to talk about than it is to actually eat.
Yep. It does. It's a kind of a pain to carve up because there's so many parts to it that kind of fall off, and the presentation is not really as nice. But in this turducken that I purchased, it had Italian sausage stuffing in it. So like you get all 3 of those birds and you throw some pork in there with it on the stuffing. Oh, Draq, I tell you what, that was a delightful Thanksgiving that year and worth every penny that I spent on that turducken. But the stuffing doesn't matter what type of stuffing it is. I'm going to throw some gravy on it and it's going to be so delicious. Even if it's like crappy crouton stuffing, or if you take your time and make a really nice bread and chop it up, you maybe take Draq's Hawaiian rolls and make some stuffing out of it. Then that's a side dish. You've done something with it. But I just love stuffing so much. I love stuffing my face with stuffing. Stuffing. God, is it Thanksgiving yet?
I cannot wait. Yet? Oh my goodness. Stuffing for me is a solid number 6. Like it barely didn't make the list. Because you gotta love stuffing. You gotta love it. It just wasn't quite there. I like gravy more.
It's your list, Draq. You can ruin it however you want to. Speaking of ruining it, how about your number 3?
You know what's better than stuffing? Cornbread. Yes, love some cornbread.
I mean, it's 2 Nebraska boys here, Draq.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
Yeah,
the homemade cornbread. You get those big sheet pans, and I'm just like, I cut it down the middle, and then I'm like, I'm taking half, and that's for the rest of the other half's for the rest of the family.
It's like the cartoons where they bust out the pie and they cut out a slice and then they put the slice for everybody else. And take the rest of the pie.
That's 100% it. Yeah, some cornbread.
And there's really no wrong cornbread either. Like I've had so many, Nebraska, right? We've had so many different versions of cornbread. You got the little pieces of corn in it.
I like it with corn, without corn. It doesn't matter. I like it all.
Not go wrong. Sweet, not sweet. It does not matter. The cornbread is it can be that shitty, cheap Jiffy brand,
100%.
That blue and white box. I don't care. Cornmeal.
Just give me some cornbread.
Just give me that cornbread.
And no matter what type of cornbread you have, and no matter how buttery it is and how much butter you put in the cornbread, you have to add additional butter to your cornbread when you eat it.
Correct. You could even throw some honey on there if you really wanted to, or make it a savory dish too. I've definitely just put some mashed potatoes and gravy right on top of it and eat it that way. Oh, so good. Good choice. Good pick, Draq. This is the first one on your list that really I can get behind. Hawaiian roll, okay. I like Hawaiian rolls too, but cornbread, you're speaking to my heart now. You're speaking to my beige heart.
Money in the bank. All right, Absolutely. What about you? Number 3.
Number 3 for me is one of my very favorites. All 5 of these are my
very favorite, but number 3.
I didn't say very favorite.
You said one of my very favorites.
All 5 of these are just my very favorites. The things that I look
I'm
for
sorry.
every Thanksgiving.
I live in a world where I have best friends, not, very best friends that are, like 18 people. That's why we make top 5 lists, is because we pick. And you put deviled eggs 3. So I'm great pick, but it's too low. It's too low.
Let me say it. I didn't even get to say my own pick.
Oh. Oops,
that's fine.
Bad.
You ruined my reveal of my number 2 last week by just somehow clipping it in there anyway. So it's fine. You can ruin my number 3.
You're going to cut all this out anyway. It's fine.
Maybe. I love deviled eggs though. And there's no wrong way to do these deviled eggs. I've had crazy deviled eggs, like have made avocado deviled eggs, regular. I mean, the staple, the regular mustard and mayo and egg with some paprika on top of it. That's a great staple, but you can doctor these up however you want to. These things are always the first thing gone in Thanksgiving, no doubt.
Always. And you're going back after and you're like, ooh, I want some leftovers. And then you're like, ooh, I want a deviled egg. And you're like, nope, because they're all gone.
And you know why they're always gone? And this happens at everyone's family Thanksgiving. It does not matter who you are. This happens. You have your plate. You put 2 deviled eggs on your plate because that's about all that's going to fit. And then while you're waiting for other people to like scoop gravy on their turkey or, in the rest of the line, you just start eating them. You just start slurping them down because they just go down like gangbusters, right? And so you've got the 2 on your plate, but you're already 4 deep. Because
you're not eating the ones on your plate. Nope, you're eating the ones straight from the thing. You just keep
going. Yeah, you're waiting and you're just slurping down more eggs. And that's the beauty of Thanksgiving. And that's why you have to make 3 dozen deviled eggs for there to be any of a second rounder. When I was tasked to make deviled eggs, I made 4 dozen eggs for my family's a little bit larger. The group to get together, it's like 20, sometimes 30 people. We've had 30 people. It's been ridiculous, but it's a big thing. And so you have to make a lot of deviled eggs, and those things suck to make from scratch, but they're the best part of the line. Without a doubt, standing in the line, slurping down eggs while you're waiting.
Very nice. Very nice.
All right, Draq, let's hear your number 2.
Number 2 is mashed potatoes. Obviously, you put it way too low on your list.
I don't know about that.
Now, I'm going to tell you the secret with mashed potatoes. This is the secret.
I'm dying to hear it.
That I got from my wife. And when you make mashed potatoes, because we both know that you don't want those like box mashed potatoes or something.
Will I eat it? Yes, I will absolutely eat it. But you're right. I don't want it necessarily.
No, you want the good mashed potatoes. The good mashed potatoes, this seems simple, but it's very important. When you salt the water that you cook the potatoes in. Not like a little salt, like I'm talking ocean salt. Like you got to dump. No, I'm serious. You dump half a thing of salt in there and then you boil that water with the salt in it. And your mashed potatoes turn out amazing. Of course, you have to have enough butter in there, but they turn out amazing. It's completely different if you boil the water because the salt absorbs into the potatoes and it just makes them taste amazing on the back end. So you're welcome for amazing Thanksgiving mashed potatoes.
Thanksgiving tips by Draq.
Yes.
Love it. Great number 2. I know me putting it number 5 might be a little low, but again, there's just certain things at my Thanksgiving that I have to have and appreciate more than mashed potatoes. So it is what it is. The fact that it's on the top 5 of things on Thanksgiving means that it is spectacular because there are so many.
I'll let it slide.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
What about your number 2?
Well, speaking of potatoes, my number 2 is what I call cheesy potatoes. I've also heard them referred to as either church potatoes or funeral potatoes.
Is that like scallop potatoes?
No. Okay, so you take the cubed potatoes and it's kind of like a casserole. So you put a bunch of cheese in it. You put some either like breadcrumbs on top of it. You can put
I know what you're talking
on
about.
Top of it.
Those are like your potluck cheesy potatoes.
Yes. Yep. There's a can of soup in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mushroom soup. Yeah.
These cheesy potatoes are a must have. And they're just super easy to make. I make them for, potlucks all the time at work and things like that. Back in the 80s, you had those potlucks at church. They were always there, and especially at funerals. When you did potlucks at funerals, you always had cheesy funeral potatoes, and they must be on my Thanksgiving plate.
And you were super happy to see them because you knew they were safe, unlike some of the other stuff that was at those potlucks. And you're like, this could kill me. This could literally be my end if I ate this.
Does Jell-O really have carrots inside it? What the fuck is this?
Who decided decided to put potato chips in the cookies. We thought that was a great idea.
Now, that being said, since then, the Reese's peanut butter cup people have put potato chips inside their huge cups, and they are absolutely delicious. If you've not had them, go out and enjoy that because they're great. But yeah, number 2, cheesy potatoes. Love them. Can't get enough of them. I will eat half of the casserole if I take them home. Anyway, I can't wait for Thanksgiving. I am so ready for Thanksgiving right now. And we haven't even hit number 1. All right, Draq, your list keeps getting better and better and better. So I'm excited for your number 1.
We're moving up. We're moving up. Onward and upward, as Joppa would say.
Indeed.
And we have moved onward and upward to deviled eggs.
Oh,
the absolute best thing about Thanksgiving is deviled eggs. Because, as Dymlos said,
I'm sorry we talked about it so long.
I know, you've taken all my points. All my points.
I'm sorry.
You take the deviled eggs and you eat the deviled eggs and you're like, oh, this was amazing. I like the turkey, but man, I want some more deviled eggs.
Absolutely.
And then you go back and you're like, there's no more deviled eggs because everyone has eaten all the deviled eggs. And you're always like, but I wanted some more. And then you're really sad. Maybe sometimes you convince or like there's a late person and then they bring deviled eggs. And then you're just like, maybe we can hide this in the corner so no one else will see. And then I'll just keep it. But yeah, deviled eggs, number 1. One of my most favorite things about Thanksgiving. And also you can put gravy on them and they're still good.
You absolutely can still put gravy on them and they're delicious. I know they got to be, kept cold, but it's fine if you throw a little gravy on top of them before you smash them down. But some points that I'd like to make since the number 3. 1, I love that kids don't like deviled eggs or they don't want to try them because they look weird, or that means more for the adults.
More for the adults, absolutely.
Yep. So that's a great point right there. The way around this is you be the person that makes the deviled eggs, right? So then here's the 4 dozen deviled eggs for everybody. And then I've got this like 1 dozen.
I've got a secret stash in the back.
Yep. You create the secret stash. You don't just hope and pray that someone brings a secret stash of deviled eggs. You make the secret stash of deviled eggs. And then
I don't just pass out these deviled eggs to anybody.
Exactly.
You have to be on the list.
Oh, and it is a very short list because 12 deviled eggs, that could just be my Thanksgiving plate and I'd be satisfied. But your closest brother, your closest, maybe mom, maybe. It depends on how much mom pissed you off that year.
Mom may or may not make the list.
She knows that you made them, but she's reluctant to go to you. It just depends on how that year went with mom, right?
I'm gonna need see some ID from my children to eat the deviled eggs.
Oh well, the kids don't get them. The kids definitely don't get them because they don't deserve them because they're
the older children. The older children,
maybe. If it's my favorite nephew or niece, maybe.
And you better be bringing some pie or something else for dessert.
Oh, for sure.
Because I didn't put any desserts on my list because I didn't feel like you said side dish. I don't feel like desserts are side dishes.
And I know that our Patreon has listed some desserts, and that's fine. I'm not going to poo-poo if you put a dessert on there because Thanksgiving, when you're looking at the entire spread, desserts are certainly on that table, right? So
sure.
Totally fine. Here's why I didn't put any desserts, and we'll get to my number 1 here shortly. But on the first round of Thanksgiving, I don't have room for dessert. I have eaten so much Thanksgiving food that I couldn't possibly eat a piece of pie or cake or whatever, you do it. Well, it's always pie, right? But we have to wait hours, right? So my Thanksgivings take forever because we eat at like 4:30.
Yeah.
And then it's like 8 or 9 before I'm ready for my piece of pie. We just yap and yap and yap. And then finally 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock rolls around, and then I'm finally ready.
Then you do pie. Then you do leftover Thanksgiving after pie,
or tomorrow. I like tomorrow Thanksgiving. That's always the leftover Thanksgivings.
That's good too.
That's always good. The plate that you take home because it tastes different, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
there's something to be said about Thanksgiving that comes out of the microwave or now the air fryer, which is just a beautiful treat. It has a day to kind of congeal together. And it just, all those flavors kind of come together as one beautiful Neapolitan Thanksgiving, if you will.
There you go. Now, is it rude to take your own Tupperware to someone else's Thanksgiving dinner?
Absolutely not. That has been a staple in my family for years. They're tired of giving me their Tupperware and not getting it back. right? Like you come with your Tupperware. That's a requirement to Thanksgiving dinner. And if your family doesn't do that, you need to make that change in your
Or
Thanksgiving.
you need to step your own game up because you should come
Word.
prepared.
Anyway, I want to get to my number one because this is the be all end all for me. If Thanksgiving does not have this side dish, then it is not Thanksgiving. The fact that you do not have this on your top five,
We're gonna disagree.
There is people in the chat right now just like, how is this casserole not been said yet? And in number one, green bean casserole, French's onions. Delicious green beans. They can be any type of green beans. They can be in the can. They can be French cut. They can be fresh. They can be farmers market green beans that still are all like
Yikes.
one. Oh, it does not matter. It is so good. But one thing it cannot be is cream of mushroom fucking soup because I hate mushrooms. I hate mushrooms. And my brother is a vegetarian, so I can't use cream of chicken. That's my preferred cream of soup to put in the green casserole. So we have to do green bean celery, or cream of celery.
It's cream of celery,
which is fine. Now, honestly, celery, this is crazy, is my favorite vegetable. So cream of celery is totally fine for me. But this is a must-have, and this goes on top of literally everything. So you put the whole plate on. Then you put an entire second layer of green bean casserole, and then the gravy goes in that and sinks through the whole thing.
I mean, you basically make a giant KFC bowl for your Thanksgiving.
I told you I'd do that. I've not alluded to anything else other than giant mix of Thanksgiving for
yikes. That is just
wait.
Yikes.
First of all, like green bean casserole.
I just am not a huge green bean fan to begin with.
It doesn't even taste like green beans.
It doesn't matter. I'm not a huge fan. I could pass on the green bean casserole. It's not even top 10 side dishes for me. It's not great.
Believable.
If there is any combination of cornbread, mashed potato, or Hawaiian rolls, any combination of those three, I'm probably passing on it altogether.
What?
Yeah, it just gets skipped. It gets left. It's down there with cranberry.
Oh, don't even get me started on cranberries. Unbelievable. We're going to get into that. So sorry, everybody out there in the Rewind world, that we waited till the very last pick to get green bean casserole in there. But don't worry. It's number one in my book, even if Draq is crazy. Well, Draq, let's see what our Patreon people think.
Yeah, they pay good money for you to make fun of them about their top 5 lists.
Yeah, well, hard to make fun of these ones, but
there's a few.
I always start up with Zip. He just is always.
He tries so hard.
He does try
so hard.
He does try. Zip actually is like masterclass chef. I don't know if that's what he does for a living. I don't. We try not to get in the personal lives of our patrons.
After we ask for your social security number and your mother's maiden name, then we try not to get into your personal life.
Exactly. So, but he has posted some creations that he has made, and they always look quite delightful.
Amazing.
So,
they look amazing.
We know that he is quite the chef, and so I believe that this top 5 is going to be stellar. And so, get a rundown real quick. We got green bean casserole, perfect. I'm fine with it being number 5 because there's so many good things. The fact that it's on a top 5 list, the order, it is what it is. But as long as it's there, it's good. Deviled eggs, beautiful.
Solid.
Now, sweet potatoes. I know people love this stuff. People love their sweet potatoes. But this is the potato that does not belong. It just, I can't put gravy on this.
100.
Right? This is a side dish that literally needs a side dish because it can't go in the KFC mixed up bowl that is my plate, right? So sweet potatoes with marshmallows are okay. And the texture is a little weird, especially if they're not cooked well enough. Like they need to be the softest potato. And I've had some pretty not cooked through sweet potatoes before. So
sweet potato is just the low form of potato. Like it's just not great.
It is the lowest of the potatoes. Yeah. That's for sure. And they're sweet, and I like sugar, which is weird.
It's the not evolved Pokemon. Like it's the basic
potato tier Pokemon for sure. I understand why people like this. They do like a little sweet to their savory. I just like all savory. So the sweet comes later with the pie. Sweet potatoes, fine.
Which you probably also mix with your mashed potatoes and gravy, but it's fine.
I'm not going to say no. But yeah, it definitely does not belong in a top 5 list. There's so many better things that belong on the top 5 list before sweet potatoes. But moving on, mashed potatoes, beautiful. And then Zip puts this together. Grandma's cornbread stuffing secret family recipe.
I mean, that sounds amazing.
I couldn't agree with you more.
That sounds like unlocked the secret level that we didn't even know about.
You've combined my love for grandmothers in with both cornbread and stuffing. Hook me up with that recipe, Zip. I need this recipe. I'm sorry that it's a secret family recipe. I promise you that it will not go past Draq and I, but you need to give us that recipe. I will not pass it. I will sign an NDA.
We are willing to sign. We have signed NDAs before. We were really good with the VR NDA. We can be really good with this too.
Yes. But this is something that I absolutely have to have on my Thanksgiving. Probably for this year. I will make this. Send me this recipe. I will make this. I'm not a great chef, but I can make some cornbread stuffing. It depends on how, like, do I have to do the cornbread from scratch? Like, then make it into stuffing? Like, this could be a little tough. This could be like a 10-hour commitment I'm committing to, but hopefully not. Hopefully
I could make my wife make this.
I don't have one of those.
Well, you still got a week.
I got to do it myself. That's not fair. Please, Zip. You can win this one. I will allow you to win this top 5 if you send us this recipe.
Trading wins.
Yeah.
Is this like insider trading?
Yes, that's collusion.
Collusion.
Sure.
Yeah, it's collusion.
100%
Absolutely.
collusion. Yep. All right. Get us that recipe. Screech, number 5, blueberry pie a la mode. And as we had with our... Yeah. I mean, we just talked about ice cream.
No, I love mint chocolate chip, but no.
But it's the number 1 ice cream, so how could it be anything else but
because
mint chocolate chip?
Because it doesn't go with blueberry pie.
I think it could. I've never done it, and I know he's talking about vanilla ice cream. It's totally fine. But could mint chocolate chip ice cream go with the blueberry pie? I think it could.
Doing Thanksgiving
I think it absolutely could.
When you're doing Thanksgiving pie, there's only one flavor.
I want to try it. I want to try blueberry pie.
And it's not mint chocolate chip.
chip.
It's just vanilla.
Here's the problem with this number 5 pick, and I'm a big fan of blueberry pie, but it is not the pie. No, it's not the pie.
No.
There are 3 other pies before blueberry pie that I'm eating.
Yeah. Apple and pumpkin for Thanksgiving are definitely going before blueberry.
And number 1 being pecan, of course.
No nut pies.
Pecan.
Gross.
Oh, I forgot that you hate nuts. You are so crazy. Pecan pie is the greatest pie. Pecan pie is the greatest pie. No. And here's a little side story that we're just going to cut in here. Shut up. My mother, may she rest in peace, made...
Now I can't give you crap about it.
Exactly.
You added that. Great. Thanks.
Yep. Exactly. She found this recipe, and I have not been able to duplicate it ever again. And I've looked it up a bunch of times and I've tried to make it, and I cannot duplicate it. But she found this hybrid of pumpkin and pecan pie. So you've got the pumpkin inside filling with the layer on top that is pecan pie. And it is so unbelievable. I have tried to replicate it. I've looked for the recipe and it never comes out the same. Somehow, and it's probably just nostalgia, and she made it perfect. Oh my God, I've never had a better pie than mixing the top 2 pies of Thanksgiving together into one beautiful pie. Oh, pumpkin pecan pie. Unbelievable. Loved it. Anyway,
well, whatever.
Don't you dare poo-poo my dead mother. Don't you dare.
Right. Yes, I'm not poo-pooing the pie.
That's exactly
it's
right.
Definitely your dead mother.
Anyway, so back to Screech's list. Already ruined with blueberry pie. Not ruined, I shouldn't say. I like blueberry pie, but it does not belong on a top 5. It's not even I don't know if I'd put it in the top 5 pies. Yeah, exactly.
It's not. No, it's not.
Fine. You had your 5. But number 4, green bean casserole. Beautiful. Number 3, we have not said. Mac and cheese.
No.
That is definitely in the beige. It mixes with the gravy. It goes on the plate. It's wonderful when it's there. It's not.
You know what the mac and cheese is for?
What?
To feed to the kids.
Sure.
That's what the mac and cheese. That is the distraction, so they don't eat the deviled eggs.
They don't want the eggs anyway.
That's not for you to eat. That's for the children, so they don't eat the good stuff.
They don't like the eggs anyway. Like they take a look at those eggs and they're grossed out by them, which is perfect. So, but yeah, you're right, mac and cheese. But it is great filler too. Like it can absolutely. It has a place. I'll be honest with you. Usually, I don't have mac and cheese at my Thanksgiving.
No,
but that's because I eat mac and cheese all the time. So,
well, there you go.
It's not anything super special for me. So, but number 2, biscuits. Here's another bread. Okay, I love biscuits, but it's.
Are you getting your Thanksgiving from KFC? Like, what's going on here?
I mean, you can. They serve turkey there too. It's fine. Biscuits. Okay, yeah. It's like you putting. What did you put? Hawaiian rolls, right? Like that's the same thing.
No, Hawaiian rolls are extremely superior to biscuits.
But they don't.
Is this breakfast? Are we doing a breakfast Thanksgiving?
Biscuits
like what's
and
going
gravy.
on here?
Hell yeah, I have definitely done a biscuits and gravy breakfast before or Thanksgiving before. It's wonderful. I'm not gonna knock that at all, but yeah, biscuits belong. You gotta have some biscuits. I prefer the crescent rolls. Biscuits are fine too. It's whatever
or
bread
Hawaiian
you want
rolls,
on the side.
or cornbread.
I am open to all breads. It's totally fine. Anyway, and then another number one is stuffing. So now we've got 2 number ones that are stuffing of our Patreon. So let's see what Archbishops does. I cannot believe
They put the one on there.
How could you possibly? The one thing that ruins Thanksgiving.
He put canned too.
We're not even talking about
Canned
good,
cranberry.
fresh cranberry. And I quote unquote good because cranberries are awful. I hate all things cranberry. I can't drink cranberry juice. If you put any of that half cran, anything with cran in it, I'm out. Cran is such a terrible flavor. It's so tart. I can't even handle it. And I like tart things. It's fine. But cranberry is absolutely terrible. So the fact that you would put the cheapest, shittiest thing on your plate that you can't even put gravy on. If you're putting gravy on the cranberry, you've ruined the sweetness. Yeah, this is a no-go. I can't believe that you put this in a top 5. It doesn't even belong in a top 30 things of Thanksgiving. It's so gross.
I mean, I'm not as insulted at cranberry as you are, but it's not my go-to for sure.
I am insulted. And I hope I listed here when I wrote this on our list, I put canned cranberry vomit. And I hope that you put vomit on the screen. I hope it's there.
No. I think Archbishops is just trying to troll you.
For sure he is. And that's fine. But this is the worst part of Thanksgiving. Can we get rid of this tradition? Just be gone. Be gone, cranberry.
I don't
be
know.
Gone forever.
Because when I went to, because I like to do a little Google search to make sure I'm not leaving anything out. So I searched yeah. And half the recipes that I see involve some kind of cranberry.
It's because they put them in the original cornucopia, the little thing on the table to make things beautiful. It had color, in a colorless.
In a beige
holiday.
world, it was color.
Yeah, it was some color. It's the same thing with like the sweet potatoes. You got a little, although those are pretty beige too.
Yeah, it's pretty
especially
beige.
When you put the marshmallow on top of it, it gets real beige. Yeah. So cranberry, get the fuck out. I'm done talking about cranberry. We're moving on. Green bean casserole, number 4, beautiful. Mashed potatoes, great. Pumpkin pie, love that pumpkin pie.
It's good.
It is good, but again. It needs to be all
Patrons
savory.
love themselves some stuffing.
What is with this? What is with this stuffing being number 1 of all 3 of them? I love stuffing. It made my top 5. It was my number 4. But number 1? The number 1 thing is stuffing?
It
blows my mind.
I don't know.
Blows my mind. Zip, get us that recipe.
Before you leave, we've one final word. Before you've forgotten all that you've heard, there is a moment evergreen. Stay here a while and listen to me.
All right, Dymlos. There's not any reason to be sad this week because it's just you and me.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here next week.
Yeah. I had fun.
Sorry, everybody.
I'm glad that we got to do an episode by ourselves. It's been
a while.
Fun. It's been a while.
And the Thanksgiving episode. And
yeah.
I'm definitely thankful for this show. So It's been a bright spot. What is this, episode 14 now? And
14 for us.
man,
Yep,
14
absolutely.
weeks plus your 7-week cruise that you went on.
Wow.
So we've been doing this for a while now.
7 weeks. Yes.
It's been crazy.
Yeah, we should do a little thankfulness. We should add that.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I am thankful for our amazing Patreons. I am thankful for Minus, who got me into this thing. Like he was like, you should do some streaming, Draq. And I was like, me? He's like, yeah, you should do some streaming. And back when this was Pantheon Plus, and he got me into this thing, and it's so much fun. I'm thankful for Theric, because we had so many years where we were doing this, and I'm just thankful for all my streamers. And I'm thankful for Dymlos, who's stuck with me for what? 25 years.
We are in 25 years of friendship now.
Dude, stuck with me through the thick, through the thin, and I'm really glad that you're my friend.
Oh, thank you so much, Draq. I appreciate that. I'm also very thankful for you and, of course, our Patreons. It has been a crazy 25 years. We've seen some things come and go, games, life, children, not for me, all 99 from you.
I've averaged us out.
Yeah. Thank you for being the one that averages out on the high side. I'm the friendships we've made along the way. We have met some really awesome people. We've got all the different games we've played, EverQuest 1 and 2, and we found our old EverQuest 2 friend Chad back in Pantheon.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Craziness. It's been a blessing. People look at me funny for being a gamer sometimes, or like spending so much time on the internet and doing things like podcasts or streams where, I throw myself out there. It's not any different from when I would do shows, right? Like I do a musical and invite all my friends over. It's the same sort of thing. This show is about video games. So it's not really too different from, me putting on a costume and doing a musical or anything like that, or an opera, things like that. So it's been a crazy 25 years for us, and I'm grateful and thankful for all 25 of them. They've been great.
All right.
Good shit.
P.S. You know what else I'm thankful for? I'm super thankful that you are voting for Static Group Live in the Scuffed Game Awards. Information in the description below. I'm super glad that you're voting Draq, and I'm super glad that you're voting often. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, man, there's so many great content creators to vote for. No, there's not. There's only one, and it's Static Group Live. You need to make sure to vote for us. And as a bonus, as a reward, as a bribe, some may even say, I will bring Redbeard Flynn back on the show. I will have a bonus episode with RBF if we win a Scuffed Award. So it's on you, the listener, to make sure that we win. Have a great Thanksgiving. Drag out.